What's good, everybody? What's good? It's Big Game James, man. I'm back in the building with my girl Stargazer. It's the Big Star Show. Yes, yes, yes. And we are back. And guess what? It's about time to play these Eagles. It's, you know what I mean? Been a lot of talk back and forth with content creators, fans, everything. I've never seen it like this in my life, to be very honest with you, because of social media, because it wasn't like this before. But now it's crazy. The Eagles are here. The content creators are here. It's gonna be a crazy week. But before we get into all that, we're going to talk a little bit about last week, those other keys. But before we get into all that, what's up, Miss Star? How you doing?
What's up, Big? What's up, everybody in the chat? Glad to see everybody tonight for another episode of the Big Star Show. I'm excited to have everybody in here with us tonight. Please like the video on my page and Big's page. Please subscribe if you haven't already and share the video so that everybody can tune into the Big Star Show because we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Mm-hmm. So let's jump right in it. First, I'm gonna go ahead and do this right quick, since we beat those Rams. We said you gave it a bigger score than I did. I said it was gonna be a little close. We'll pull it later in the end, but you said we were kind of gonna blow them out, and which we did. So kudos to Star, because Star was on this, and her keys to the game were really close. What's up, everybody? Get ready to come on in. Cowboys DT Smooth TV, Spiffy AC. Good to see y'all. But let's pull up those keys to the game from last week and let's see how good they were. And they were pretty good. She's spot on. So we're going to definitely be doing these keys every week. So without further ado, let me see, which one is it. There it is. There it is, right there and right here. And bam. All right. So there we go. So this was the Stars' key of the game last week. Number one, sack Stafford 2 times. Cowboys definitely did it. We saw Michael Parsons get his, and he did his the lion crawl. We
Yep.
saw the Cowboys get a 2 sacks. Matthew Stafford exited the game. He didn't finish the game. Their offense went in the tank. We also saw on number 2, Nakua. I was surprised because I thought they were going to at least get. I thought they were going to get their yards. We were going to beat them, but they're going to get their yards. We kept him under 100 yards.
Yes, we
Another
did.
bam, big star, 4-star. Allowed 1 sack or less. We allowed a few in the early beginning, but we righted the ship right after that. The
That's
first
true.
series was crazy, but
Yep.
right after that, we righted the ship and we put a lot of pressure on that defense, and you saw what we did. And 100-plus rushing yards. It wasn't the greatest rushing game, but Tony Pollard did average over 4 yards a carry. Dak scrambled when he need to, and it was effective. And we like when Dak uses his legs because the team is better. Kind of your thoughts on the Rams game and just the keys right quick before we talk a little bit about this interview with Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I think absolutely. We completely dominated the Rams. It was almost like a repeat of last year because remember last year we had blocked
Mm-hmm.
a ton. I think
Yep.
last year I think we got like an interception or a pick six or something like that. So, but
We got
the
that strip sack fumble too. We
yeah,
got that strip sack fumble early, and
yeah.
Demarcus Lawrence ran it in for the touchdown.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it was definitely that type of game.
Yep.
We obviously scored a lot more because this was the most complete game that we've been able to put together offensively. It definitely seemed like we continued to build from the Chargers game onto this game, and I'm hoping that we continue to build on what we did. Y'all can see pretty much all my points were we were able to accomplish besides the allow 1 sack or less. But like Big said, after that first drive, we were able to, or that first, series before we were able to convert the next first down, or sorry, convert the third down and get to the next first down. It was kind of crazy. But after that, we settled down and we did end up getting 100 yards collectively as a team, that's what I said. I was like, it doesn't have to be Tony Pollard, but
Mm-hmm.
collectively, as a team, we need to be over 100 yards, and we was able to meet that goal. So, obviously, it's an important win. I know people will try to say that it's not, but it is. It was an NFC win. Everybody knows you need as much NFC wins as possible because
Mm-hmm.
that's what. What's up, Mickey? What's up, everybody in the chat? See everybody, T Smooth. But everybody knows it's those NFC wins that you really need to get up under your belt because if there comes tiebreakers and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
your NFC wins are going to count more than your AFC wins. And since we've already dropped 2 NFC games, it's really important that over these next weeks of the season that we can stack as many NFC wins as possible. So very important win. Obviously, I think we were able to just identify, who we are as a team. Because I'm like, there's a reoccurring theme. Like we're the only team in the NFL that 4 out of the first 7 games we're sitting starters at the top of the fourth. We're the only team that's doing that. So when you have that, and I'm like, what is a common theme in all of these games? Aggressive.
Aggressive. Yep.
Yep, aggressive. Like that's just who we are on. When we're aggressive in special teams, when we can take our shots in special teams, aggressive on the defensive side of the ball, taking the ball away, getting pick sixes, getting strip sack fumbles. When we're aggressive on offense, attack, 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 attack in the air, do what we got to do, push that ball downfield. That's when we're really at our best. So that's why I said I really hope that we continue to build off of what we were able to accomplish in the Rams game, because I want to see this consistently. Just like you said, Big Mike, when these big games, he tends to nut up and get nervous and go away from the game plan. And I think he had said that he almost did that this game when it was like repeated sack, sack, sack. But he stayed with it and see what we was able to accomplish. So it's like stay with it, keep pushing, keep being aggressive, because that's our identity.
I mean, that's what should be our identity. And as I said, I mean, you're a veteran coach. You shouldn't be getting scary. You shouldn't be playing it close to the vest because you got smacked a couple times. I don't like that. So, Mike, you got to continue to get better because I don't like you that thought. But there's you actually had this clip on your Twitter, and I had seen it before, and we're
Yeah,
gonna play it right now because it was very interesting what Mike had said in this clip. So
yeah.
we're getting ready to go to it right now, listen to a few things, and just what Mike was saying. We're gonna talk about it because I'm in my head like, what? But you know what I'm saying, Star. Some of
Yeah.
the stuff made me like frustrated. But
Yeah.
let's listen to it right now.
What you think you want to be coming out of the off season, and then you start getting into variations of those concepts. So I think we're starting to hit that point.
Oh, oops.
Gotta rewind it.
I gotta rewind it. Where is it at? There we go. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
There we go.
The
There
offense,
we go.
Jerry talked about, and Dak talked about the offense taking a step, and it really looking like you guys want to look coming out of camp.
I mean, definitely. I mean, I think if you just look at what we've done in the first 6 games, there's a number of things, and it's just because of the type of games we've been in. Half of our games in the first 6 games, the second halves weren't. We're on 4-minute offense in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, frankly, I think it was just more getting to concepts and doing some things we just haven't done yet. So, and really just cutting Dak loose. I mean, but the ball distribution was.
Okay, that's the first pause.
Yeah.
Unleashing more concepts, letting Dak loose. I thought this was his offense. Mike, talk to me about this. I thought this was his offense. If this was his offense and you let him run the offense the last preseason of the game, you said this the West Coast principle. It's quick. It's gotta be on the quarterback. That's what you said. I don't want to be the greatest play caller. Where my quarterback be one of the greatest out there, and so this can be smooth. So what is this that we're just now letting Dak loose? What's this? You shouldn't. What's going on here, Star? What do you think about what he said right there?
Um, well, he did say two things. One,
Mm-hmm.
now the reason why we haven't, which is a point that I said before about us blowing teams out. So
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning half of the year, we weren't able to run so much offense and concepts because of the way that the game had went. However, there were opportunities that we could have opened it up, i.e., the Cardinals game, right? Even
Mm-hmm.
and Mike said he got scared, but because of that game, because we had 3 backups where we could have taken more shots. Now we didn't have a problem moving the ball that game, but I think we should have had a more plan like versus the Chargers, like versus the Rams, where it was more explosive. We kind of dink and dunked our way down the field because we ran the ball more than we've ran all year in that game as well. Which we ran the ball well, but I think it forced us into the you're in the red zone. We were inching the ball just closer and closer. And everybody knows the closer you get to the actual goal line, the harder it is to score because the field shrinks. So it's way easier for defenses to defend. And so I think, we should have taken more shots in that game, but we didn't do that. Then we were going to take shots in the 49ers game. We did come out firing, but Dak missed that. The first throw to Shoemaker was a bit high.
He was too hyper.
Right, Dak was a bit amped. And I felt like Mike then said, "Oh, let me back up." And you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that, Mike. Like, just because your quarterback, he's gonna this is a big game. So if he missed a pass, who cares? Like, he missed it. We're gonna stay with the game plan. We're gonna keep doing it. But he started receding into himself, trying to do dink and dunk and short mesh concepts and running with time Paul. And then it's just like things just started going down.
No motion, no pre-snap motion, no
motion. No, let's try to get creative and move the receivers around it because we were struggling getting out of just man coverage, just line up and get out of man coverage. So we should have used motion. And when we did use motion, the one drive we used motion, we scored. But Mike wasn't keeping consistent with it. Mike definitely went in that game playing not to lose. Yeah. I think it now, and we also know the defense. Dan Quinn, he just got out-schemed, out-coached. I don't know. But the players, Micah said everything that they tried to do, Shanahan accounted for it. So it was still a horrible day. We already said that on both sides of the ball. But when you talk about specifically with Mike, he hadn't really, you can tell, I mean, look what he said. He said cut Dak loose. So it's like he hadn't really given Dak full control, but as well as there's some of the concepts we wasn't able to do because of the way that some of those blowouts went at the beginning of the season. But still, I think we should have started out with, you said this was Dak's offense after he called that game versus the Raiders in the preseason. I feel like that should have been your key, like, all right, Dak, you got it.
Let's go. You got it. There shouldn't be no close to the vest. And just like you said, the first series, it was a little amped, no motion. And here's the problem, because when these teams are not seeing any kind of pre-snap motion, the Cowboys offense, this is kind of still an old kind of offense. West Coast offense has been through time and time again. So it's obviously you can kind of understand what it is when you see it. So if you're not doing anything to kind of disguise your offense, it's easy for the defense to get a beat on you what you're going to do. And the 49ers already know what we're going to do. Fred Warner said, we know what they like to do. So if they know what we like to do, why would you fall right into that trap of knowing that? And that's what we're talking about. So when we're going into this Philly game, okay, now he has been aggressive in the Philly game when we played in Dallas, okay, but that was Kellen Moore. Now we need to see if Mike McCarthy is going to do the same thing that he did with the Rams in Philly, and that's the big question. But let me finish what he had to say, because he said some other things that were interesting to me.
Okay.
We hit our average. We had 80% of our plays were, rushes or completions. So, I mean, so that part, I think, consistent. Just had the one giveaway, the time of possession, which is important. That was a big emphasis, for us, if it was part of our complementary football formula. CD had a huge day. But, I do like the way we're spreading the ball around. And, and if you look at play calling as when you throw it, it's more aggressive, then we were more aggressive yesterday.
Was anything born out of what you did during the bye week, or learned in the bye week from what you were earlier, or was it more just, again, a natural progression of the offense?
I think it was more confirmation of just say, we need to get going. We need more production from the offense, and I think a big part of that is just trusting your players and opening things up. So, we have a lot of football to play, and I just conceptually, we got some things we can, still haven't got to yet, but. I think start to to me that first trimester you show what you think you want to be coming out of the off season, and then you start getting into variations of those concepts. So I think we're starting to hit that point.
All right, so this is what I want to say to that. All right, Star. So the biggest thing that I heard him say was, after the bye week, I mean, if we're passing and we're passing early, then you can call it aggressive. Yeah, I would definitely say that's got to be aggressive, because to me, this is what we need to do the rest of the year, in my opinion. So if we're not going to get any kind of running back, We need
Mhm.
to pass the run. We need to set up the pass to run because when
Yep.
we are aggressive and throwing the ball early, it opens up the run game. It opens
Right.
up the game for Tony Pollard, Rico Dowdell. It opens up the game. So when Dak
Mhm.
is able to really control the offense and really attack early, it opens
Mhm.
up the run game. So that's what definitely we're going to have to do against the Eagles. So when I was hearing him say those things that, yeah, we got to get going. We got to get going. Okay, well, you're seeing yourself. That's adjusting. Okay, but you shouldn't
Mhm.
have to wait to get going in any game. You need to come
Yep.
out aggressively because we have the type of team that you can do that with. But
Yep.
then I also heard him say, we're spreading the ball around, but you're trusting your players more. So when I hear we want to open it up more, we want to cut Dak loose, and then I hear, you trust in your players more. Who do you think he's talking about, in your opinion, when he says you start trusting your players more, so more things start to happen?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think Dak. He's talking about Dak. I think really, I've said this. I really think the narrative about them interceptions really got to the front office, which got to Mike, which flowed from Mike, which went to Dak. And I think they really made that an emphasis. They kept saying it over the offseason, like no interceptions, no interceptions. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
we cannot think like that because the more it's just inevitable. You're going to throw interceptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to quarterbacking, it just because you can get interceptions tip ball, you can drop a ball and get. I mean, we know because we saw what happened to Dak last year.
Mm-hmm.
But you really only want to focus on interceptions if your quarterback's throwing so many interceptions because of bad head decisions. And even Mike had said it wasn't. We already know we went through the interceptions. Some of them were bad head or like your head decisions from Dak, but a lot of them were situations that I just described. So I think Mike kind of I think the whole organization overreacted to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you're realizing, when you're seeing once you took the leash off of Dak, how you're able to trust him and he's able to perform at an extremely high level. For the past 2 weeks, he's been the best quarterback in football statistically. I think it gave Mike more of a okay. But I also think when he says trust in players, look at the Brandon Cooks touchdown. Brandon Cooks went up to Mike and told Mike, "Hey, coach, if we do this, I'm gonna run this route. It's gonna get open." So I think it's also as well. I think over the bye week they really listened to the players and got their feedback on what are they seeing out there, how they would like to progress this offense forward. And I think Mike took from Brandon Cooks, CD, Ferg, from everybody, Dak especially, everybody's opinion from different things that are happening around the league and how they can make this offense better. What should we throw out? What should we keep? Right? Because he said the first half of the first semester, you're putting stuff together that you think you want to be, but by the second semester, you should say, okay, this is who we are. So I think it took some growing pains and some it's some strides before Mike said, okay, I feel comfortable. But I think uh, now he's just gonna let the players run the show. That's how I feel. Like let the
I
play
hope.
like that's what I'm saying. I hope let the players run the show. Like let them do. They obviously see and have a feel of the game. Schottenheimer said this as well. Like let the players play. Let Dak be free. Let Dak play. Go back to that football player that got him paid. Right, him being the dynamic Dak. Him, I am one of the best improvisers in the league. Like let him go back to that. Cause I'm damn sure like if Dak is in control of his own fate week in and week out, you obviously are seeing the best of Dak Prescott, right?
Mm-hmm.
People think this is the best we've seen him in years because of the style of play, his aggressiveness, the swagger, everything. So that's what I think Mike Mike.
Yeah. And I definitely feel you. I'm pulling up some of his stats. We already see the record that he has against the Eagles, 8-3. But the numbers, and this is what I've always said: 30-30 club, 30 rushes, 30 passes, and we're good. If you get those 30 rushes in the game and Dak is around 30 passes, that's a good Dak. And I also said I'm cool with Dak averaging around 250 yards passing the game, 230, 250 yards passing the game, because you can still be aggressive in that manner.
Mhm.
And when you look at it, the numbers right now, Damn, Jay, you like right on point. 31.8. I said 30. 31.8. And he's averaging 247.8 yards a game, right?
Yep.
Pretty good. And we like when Dak is aggressive, because when Dak is aggressive, most quarterbacks, when they are, and quarterbacks that when they are worried about being aggressive, they're probably not good quarterbacks. But you paid this man to be that guy, right? You paid him to be that guy. So if you paid him to be that guy, you can't be having handcuffs on the offense that you said that's supposed to be his. And Dak Prescott, if you've been around Dak for a number of years now, you should be able to see that when he was throwing the ball, he was a better quarterback. I mean, even when we weren't winning games in 2020, right?
Right.
But Dak was going crazy.
Yeah,
he was going
He was
throwing.
lighting it
He
up.
was
He was
throwing
lighting it up.
400-yard games, and I mean, we was looking at like, oh damn, we ain't seen that type of Dak. Because come on, we hadn't seen that type of Dak.
Yeah,
We
that's
saw it.
true.
We saw it evolving, but he was going nuts before he broke
Crazy.
that leg as far as throwing that ball. So we
Yep.
saw that Dak can throw the damn ball. Okay,
Yep.
so stay aggressive, Mike McCarthy. You just told yourself that's just kind of crazy to me that you said you still had to get trust, but just like you said, everybody had been beaten in the head. Dak Prescott's been throwing interceptions. But if you look at his career, he's not a career interception guy. He's not a career interception guy. Look at the numbers right here. In career regular season games, 176 touchdowns, 70 interceptions. That's only 2.0 in your career. That's one of the lowest in history.
In history. That's correct.
In history.
He's top
So
10 in history on touchdown interception ratio. So
right. So where are we getting this narrative that Dak was this turnover machine? He was this turn the ball over. See, they get to saying stuff and then express. Some top people say it, and then everybody wants to run with it because nobody else wants to study. Nobody else wants to believe anything. They just want to hear what somebody says, and then the narrative starts coming. But Dak was never doing that. Dak has been cautious of the ball since he's come in the league. But we know when he's an aggressive player, he is a better player. When he is in attack mode, he is a better player. He's more when you let him get that kind of confidence with it, he's just a better player. And when he's using his legs, we're a better team. When he's not, this is what I love when Dak, and this is what I want him to do, Star, early. Because let me get over to your keys right quick again. This is what I want him to do early. Because I said this, and this ain't no hate on no Terrence Steele, but Terrence Steele ain't Terrence Steele of last year. You know, when he was killing it, getting that deal, right? He's still coming back from that knee injury. He's going against Hassan Reddick. In my opinion, unless, just the God shine on Terrence Steele, I think you're going to have a long day. I think Terrence Steele, you're going to have a long day on Sunday, okay? And whoever's playing on that left side, you're going to have a long day too because you're going against Sweat. And Jalen Carter, he probably going to give you some fits, Zach Martin. And that front line probably going to give us some fits. Because if the San Diego Chargers was getting pressure and getting 5 sacks, if the Rams, who didn't really have nobody obviously had Aaron Donald, but they was pressuring the hell out of him early. What do you think the Eagles going to do? Let's just keep it real, right? So,
it's gonna be pressure.
Dak, as soon as you see that lane like you've been seeing before, don't sit there and try to stay in that pocket, taking a bad sack, and then we second and 22, and then it starts to snowball, and Mike starts getting scary, like, oh, we're second and 22. Ooh, let's go back to throwing short passes because I'm scared now because I don't want this to get away from us. I don't want that. So, Dak, help Mike out. Help Mike stay aggressive, but when you see that opening, run. When you see that rush lane, run. Use your legs in this game because he only ran for 19 yards in that game against the Rams, but they were a good 19 yards. 59 yards rushing the last 2 games. It's not major, but look at 11 rushes. We haven't heard that in a long time, right? Right, a Star? We haven't heard 11 rushes, especially in 2 games from Dak Prescott. We ain't heard that. So we also seen, look how damn good the team plays when you use your feet and use your legs. So there's the formula. If you go in there aggressive, Dak, you see them rush lanes open, run. If we play aggressive this game, we win. If we go in there conservative, being scary, not to lose, we're going to get our ass kicked. Excuse my language. Now let's talk about your keys to the game because Star be on point with these keys, and we going to definitely start revisiting these. So let's talk about your first one. 20 to 30 pressure on Hurts. Now, when you say pressures, how are we talking about the pressures? Keeping him inside the pocket because he's got a little bit of a knee injury, and I think he's protecting it.
Mhm.
How do you want the pressure? Because we always have problems with running quarterbacks.
I think the best, yeah, we do. We do. The running quarterbacks is Dan Quinn's Achilles heel. So, but yeah, I definitely, when I say pressure, because Hurts, his completion percentage drops drastically when he's under pressure.
Mhm.
And majority of his interceptions have come when he's under pressure. He's still going to run, but he's obviously being more selective when he runs because of that knee. Um, the knee's probably worse than what Philly is letting on, but of course, Hurts is tough. He's not going to really let you know that, like, yeah, my knee is messed up, right? So I think it's all about this game, interior pressure, because you want to be able to clog up that middle. And because any quarterbacks, they can, whenever it's just your pass rushers getting pressure right, your tackles can just push him outside. The quarterback can just step up in the pocket and he
Yeah,
escapes, you know?
that's where we get
So,
killed.
and that's what he does. Like, if the edge rushers are getting him, he just steps up. He Hurts, that's his instinct. He's always looking for a lane to take off. He's always looking for a lane to take off. He'd rather take off than get a sack, even with his bum knee. I just saw him do it versus the Washington Commanders. So he's definitely going to be looking for a lane. So I'm like, this is an important game to get a lot of pressure on him through the interior. Stunt as well. We can take advantage of this offensive line because they have holes.
They're
And
struggling.
in this Philly offensive line, they've given up the most pressures over these past couple of weeks out of any
Mhm.
offensive line in the NFL. So they're struggling, they're hurt, they're playing backups. This is our time. This isn't the same Philadelphia Eagles wall that we've been facing the past two games. This is a beat up Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. So we need to take advantage of that. Micah, everybody talking about Micah because through his career, he only has 0.5 sacks versus the Philadelphia Eagles. So
Needs to
I
be
would,
a signature game.
yep, Micah, it's time to. I would like to see Micah go up over the middle. This right guard, Sua Opeta, Jason Kelsey. Let's get it going. Let's mix it up and let's get some pressure on Jalen Hurts because I think that's really the key. Because we know once he gets pressure, he's gonna turn the ball over. He's gonna turn it over.
Yeah, and we definitely seen him turn the ball over. He's the most turnover quarterback right now, leads the league in interceptions. Ha,
Yep.
that's kind of funny
It's
how
kind of
you
funny.
just this is kind of funny how you hear that ring. And the only thing the Eagles are living off right now is that 7-1. Boy, they are living off that
Yep,
so
seven and
hard right now.
one.
They don't want to say nothing. You say an interception, 7-1. Yeah, blah blah blah. You said, but he's turning the ball over 7-1. You don't want to talk about that. See, when it was Dallas, it was that's Dak
Wow.
this, Dak that. Oh,
Uh-huh.
it's 7-1. Because guess what? Even when Dak was throwing those interceptions, we were still winning games. Like
Yeah, we
we
were
we
winning.
we were not getting blown out. We didn't have a losing
Right.
record. We were still going to play. We were still winning games. So cut that out.
Yep.
But to your point, I'm pulling this up, and this is from Pro Football Focus. What you were saying, how the Eagles' offensive line is going through a rough stretch, as they have allowed 49 pressures over the last 3 weeks, more than any other team. They also
Mm-hmm.
ranked just 28th in pass blocking efficiency over that period. That bodes well for
Mm-hmm.
the Dallas Cowboys. Left guard Landon Dickerson, who's the young guy, particularly struggled, letting up a career high 8 pressures against Washington on the season. Dickerson has given 23 pressures up after surrendering just 19 in 2022. So
Wow. Gee.
that's right. You feel me? So that's huge. So
Mm-hmm.
to your point, how we've been talking about the offensive line, that's somewhere we can attack because guess what? We get a lot of pressures. We're one of the top 5 teams, top 6 teams
Mm-hmm.
in the league in pressuring opponents. So this
Yep.
bodes well for the Dallas Cowboys. And just like you said, Micah, how she said it. Micah, I'm gonna look in the camera how she said it.
Yeah.
Micah, you need a signature game, and you need a signature game. You need a signature big game. Okay,
Yep.
let's just keep it real. I mean, we've seen Myles Garrett, we've seen TJ Watt, and hey, we're not taking anything away from Micah. Understand me, but I've seen those other guys. they've took over whole games. And
Yep.
we've seen him Micah's young career. He's done some damn good things, but they've
Mhm.
taken over whole games
Yep.
and big games, whole big
Whole
games.
games. Yep.
You feel me? And this needs to be a game, right, Star? That
Take it
Micah
over.
needs to have a signature game. This can't be a game where, Lane Johnson's getting a hold of you, or this can't be that
Mhm.
game. And
Yep.
everybody is always, you just mentioned it. You are averaging you're not getting to the quarterback, and you're not getting to the quarterback. You're pressuring, but you're not getting to the quarterback. You're
Not
not as
getting there.
effective, and you got to be the guy. And when she mentions 20 to 30 pressures, Micah, you got to be that one of those top guys in that. And you got, I know sacks ain't everything, but daggone it, you need at least get a 1 or 2 in this game. Game changing sacks, a strip sack
Yep.
fumble, because guess what? You just said it, Star. We talked about it. Not just the interceptions, Jalen Hurts is fumbling the ball as well. So you can hit him and he
Yeah, he had 2
fumbles it.
fumbles last week.
Yes.
2 fumbles. So
So there it
he's
is.
turning it over. He is turning that ball over.
So there's things in our favor that we can make it happen. Let's talk about this number 2 now. This is going to be a tough one right here. Keep AJ Brown under 100 yards. Now, how do you think we do that?
AJ Brown is definitely a guy that I don't want Dan Quinn. I'm a little worried about Dan Quinn because something is telling me Dan Quinn is not going to bracket AJ Brown. Something is telling me that he's going to say, Bland, I'm putting you on an island with him. Let's see what you can do. Like, because I don't know what Dan Quinn just likes, that aggressive type style, And I'm saying that because remember when we faced Keenan Allen?
Mm-hmm.
Dan Quinn had Bland on an island with him. He was leaning Hooker to the other side. So I'm like, I don't know, but I think the best way, and one thing we do have going for us now, of course, we ain't faced AJ Brown, but we haven't let any wide receiver or rusher go over 100 yards on us.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have that going for us. So I'm really hoping that Dan Quinn, we keep to our aggressive man nature, right? But we do have to give whoever's going to be covering AJ, we do need to give them help, because AJ he's not like he breaks tackles basically off of physicality. It's really hard to bring him down. Someone described him as like a fullback. I think that was cool. Yeah, he's like he's
I mean,
got a
he is.
fullback
He
body,
is. He's
but
225 pounds. He's a big running back.
he's huge. He's like a running back that runs like a deer. Like, this is a guy that you definitely need to be trying to limit as much as possible, because the Eagles really do feed off of AJ Brown. And if you look at the Eagles this year, they're trying to get big plays. They're trying to get big explosive plays. Hurts does not care if he's doubled either. He doesn't care if he's double or triple teamed. He's throwing the ball up there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if he catches a ball in double and triple coverage, that's all for 20, 30 yards. That's all
that crowd gonna be going. That crowd gonna be
that's
going
all
crazy. He's gonna be going crazy.
He's gonna be going nuts. So we really need to say, hey, Jalen Hurts, if you're gonna beat us with Devontae Smith. Beat us with Dallas Goedert. But we cannot allow AJ Brown. Now, he's going to get some catches, right? But like I said, the key is over 100 yards. He's going to get yards regardless. He's not a guy you can just lock up all game. Like, he's not going to be erased. But we definitely are going to need to focus on limiting him. And I think that's what I'm saying. You need to lean coverage over to his way. Personally, I think it would be a better matchup with Gilly versus AJ Brown than Deron Bland. But it really depends on where they line AJ up, because we don't really follow. Dan Quinn doesn't have a guy follow a guy. Like, the cornerbacks are pretty much locked in onto their side of the field. So hopefully, though, the primary matchup will be AJ Brown versus Stephon Gilmore. And they may like that matchup better too, just from Philly's side, right? Because AJ's a young stud. Gilly's still a very cerebral, good cornerback, but he's not as twitchy. And he's also he's not on this interception tear as Bland is on. So they're also probably going to try to play matchup and say, oh, I think we'll like him better versus Stephon Gilmore than than Bland. Or they could say, hey, Bland's a young player. Let's see if we can embarrass him. He's on this high. He thinks he's so good. Let's see if we can just attack him and steal his confidence. So it'll be interesting to see what the Eagles do. But I definitely think whatever we do, we got to keep him from going off. No, that 126 plus yard streak he's on should end with us.
And it definitely can, because I mean the last receiver that really just destroyed us was Calvin Johnson, and that was years ago. We've kind of bottled up, a lot of big name guys
Top
that
names,
come
yep.
in, big name players that come in the building and haven't had huge games. Even AJ Brown last year, his first game against us, it wasn't huge. Devontae Smith is the one that killed us in the second game. He had over 100 yards in that second game. AJ had the one big catch, but other than that, he wasn't really a big factor in the second game. You get what I'm saying? So it can definitely happen, and we can definitely do it, but we are missing Trevin Diggs. So they got to be able to be real smart in how you're talking about, just like you said, Star. But I agree with you. I think a lot of people are saying that too, that we rather see Gilly on there because as big and strong as AJ is, and he's functional fast, but he's not a burner.
No, he's not a burner. No,
he's not a burner, and that's what's been giving Gilly problems this year. This will be a better matchup for me with Gilly because he can use the experience. He's got a physical side to him too. I just think it would be better for him. And then you can have a Deron Bland who's younger, and that'll be a damn good matchup with him and Devontae Smith. You see a Deron Bland and Devontae Smith, because Devontae Smith can hurt you. You've seen what he did to us last year, and we don't want we don't want the Slim Reaper or whatever himself getting all. We don't want him.
Yeah, he can too. Devontae Smith, he makes circus catches too. He makes circus catches, and he makes circus catches in big games. So he does it. He did it versus the Dolphins. He did it last week for them when they was in a what's it called? Where you just going back and forth.
He saved them. He saved them against them daggone Vikings. I mean, and
Vikings,
he came up big in the Washington
49ers
game.
Last year.
49ers, yeah. So
he shows up and he makes circus catches. So but
AJ Brown is the guy we can't. I agree with you. Here's the thing. AJ Brown is an emotional leader for that damn team.
That's what. Yep. That's what I'm saying. If he goes,
once he starts getting a few damn catches,
it's all they need.
Dog. And he gets to flexing and getting crazy. That's what we don't need. And I feel you, Craven. She definitely speaks on that. We definitely got to get after Swift early.
Swift too. This is what I think they're gonna do. Big, like I really think they're gonna come out. They're gonna test our run defense immediately.
Immediately.
If they can get Philly. I'm going to say this. Philly's scared of us. Philly wants to win this game. So if they can win this game with just running down our throats with DeAndre Swift, they will.
They will. Because think about it. Think about it, Star. And I've been mentioning this to the Eagles fans, and they get mad at me. I said, okay, when y'all played us, right? When we had Cooper Rush and we were at home. Jalen Hurts was not throwing that boy through like 25 times.
No, he was not.
He didn't even throw for 150 yards, and they kept it close to the vest. And when we came back, they really started running the ball.
They ran that ball. Yup.
Because Jalen Hurts was inaccurate. He had a lot of pressure on him in that game. Michael Parsons didn't have sacks, but we had a lot of pressure on him. He was throwing a lot of errant passes when he was running outside the pocket, and they went close to the vest. That last drive they had where they scored and kind of put the game away was like a 14-play drive. 10 plays were runs.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it's funny, but when he got hurt and they had Minshew in there, they threw the ball everywhere. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I mentioned this to Joe Castro too, that your offensive coordinator, when it gets close, y'all start running the ball. Y'all don't throw as much no more because when it gets close, y'all play it close to the vest. And I agree with you, Star. They're going to come out and test that run defense early. With DeAndre, they're going to test it early. With maybe some trick plays, some end arounds. They're going to test that run defense and see where it's at and see what type of game it is. If they're checking that temperature and seeing they're getting the runs early, they're going to go hard running the ball all game.
All game. Because they don't want Jalen Hurts to get into a shootout with Dak Prescott. They don't want Jalen Hurts to get into a shootout if they don't have to. It's different with Jalen Hurts going shootout with Sam Howell, then I'm going to try to do a shootout with Dak Prescott. They want to leave. They're playing at the link. They're playing at home. They want to. Everybody putting this pressure on us. Really, the pressure is on Philly because this is their house.
And they've been talking.
They've been talking. They're the best. Everybody is crowning them. They're the best team in football. Everybody's saying they're the best team. Once they put it together, I mean, they're going to be unstoppable. All of this stuff. So they have the pressure. We don't have it. We can really go in and just play fun
Because
and
you know
happy
why?
and free.
Yeah, we can be real free because everybody's already telling we're gonna lose anyway.
Exactly. Like everybody's saying we're gonna lose anyway. So we don't have this pressure that they keep trying to say, oh, no, we don't have the pressure. It's Philly that has the pressure, and they're going to try to do anything they can to win this game. And I don't think they care. What they've shown in the past is they don't care to win the game through Jalen Hurts. They do not care to win the game through his arm. They don't care about that.
They just want to win the game. And
Period.
by any means necessary, that's what they're doing. And that's what they're
Yep.
doing right now. You keep it real. So definitely feeling you on those couple. And this is the key one right here. This is your biggest one right here, Star. This is the biggest one. Turnovers are huge for sure.
Yep.
But number 3 is the biggest one to me. Attack, secondary, aggressively. Speak on that, and I'm gonna follow right behind you because
Yeah.
that's what's gonna win this game to me in Philly.
Their secondary is very bad. They're like 20. They're like bottom of the league
28th. I
in
think they're like
yards.
27, 28th.
They're bottom of the league in yards and points. They're just virtually not good. Yeah, they added Kevin Byard, but think of that's like a band-aid on a bullet hole. Like it's not. Kevin Byard. He can make some plays for him, but he can't save that secondary on his own. That secondary is not good. The Philadelphia Eagles know that too. Content creators, their fans, they know their secondary is not good. Both of their corners not playing very well, especially James Bradbury. He's having a real rough year. I think the next they have is Josh Jobe and Eli Ricks, undrafted free agent guys. Mm-hmm. Not saying that these guys can't make plays, but as I said, secondary's not good. If we really want to take the soul out of that team, we need to attack them very fast. Because another thing is
they're 27th, by the way. 27th, by the way, and 31st in pass attempts against them.
Yeah. Like what would be the ideal against in this game is explode. We need to explode on them immediately. We need to march. If we get the ball,
a big play.
A big play. If we get the ball, if we get the coin toss, we need to get the ball first. We need to go straight down the field, and we need to put the pressure on them very quickly.
Totally agree.
Yeah, that's the goal to win this game. Put the pressure on Philly. Let them play catch up. Let them keep playing catch up because they're not really a team. With all that pressure and stuff like that, Jalen Hurts is good. He gonna make some throws and stuff like that. But as we said, he's not good with pressure. He's not good. He's a guy, he gonna start making mistakes, forced errant throws. And if we can get them out of their element in their game, this could be a blowout for us. But we have to be able to get them out of their game. And the way you do that is get on top of them early. And we're not going to get on top of them early by, let's just, like you said, stay close to the vest. Let's just, do run up the middle, or let's see if we can try to get an outside zone. Let me tell you something. This is not a game for our running backs. Nope. Philly is number 1 in the league versus the run.
Yep, you see it right here. I'm showing you all of it. I'm showing, as Star says that, number 1 in rushing yards against, 524, first. Rush attempts, 139, first. Rushing average, they're top 10, only 3.8. So what is that telling you? That front line's damn good. Tony Pollard ain't working up the middle. Don't do it. Don't try to do it. And if you try to do that early, I'm going to already know you scary, and I'm a damn near want to just stop the stream. I'm going to tell Joe Castro right now, stop the stream. Just stop the stream. We about to get our ass kicked because they starting that bull jive again because you just said it, Star. If their defense is top dog as far as what we're talking about on that line of scrimmage, dog. That front line is good against the run. That's not how you're going to beat them. You need to be aggressive and throw that damn ball. And
Yep.
that needs to be the key. And we just seen it. Sam Howell, he's okay, right? But this is his second year. He's only started like 6 games,
He
7
shredded.
games, right?
He shredded us.
397. He was killing them. Mac
He
Jones,
destroyed them.
who we've been beating up. Mac Jones, right? Oh, Mac Jones ain't
Horrible.
this. Mac Jones threw for 320 some yards against them and basically brought them back throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins ate them alive. If
Right.
it wasn't for some defense, if
The
Minnesota had better
stupid stuff
defense,
from them, yeah, like all them turnovers, the crazy stuff they was doing. The Minnesota Vikings likely win that game. And just like you said, we're switching our. That's another thing I want to talk about. We have switched up our offensive philosophy because I do think Mike was starting off. He's thinking, okay, we're gonna be this defensive-led team. We're just gonna, play close to the vest, control time of possession type of stuff, just eat at the clock with short throws here and there, maybe occasional play action. But when he was asked, I think he was asked by Clarence, who said, you said this team's identity is, the defense, we're a defensive-led team. And Mike said, listen, I don't know what I said, but he said, your team has to evolve. And, we still want to control time of possession and stuff like that, but we got to score points. We got to put up points because that's how you win games.
right?
So I think they definitely have changed. But Mike said we purposely came out firing versus the Rams. Stephen Jones said it. Jerry Jones said it. Like they've switched the philosophy where we are going to look more like a more West Coast style offense principle, which is you pass to set up the run. Not we run to set up the pass like an air courier. We're going to pass. And that's why we were able to have a little success on the ground versus the Rams when we did run on the edges, or even sometimes even in the middle, because we're passing so much. The run is now they're backed up because that's what Mike said.
And that's where the openings come. Yep.
Right.
Right.
So that's how we've switched. We switched our offensive philosophy, and I'm glad because I'm like, when you look at our strength, our quarterback, the wide receivers we have on the perimeter. Tony Pollard is good, but he is not an every down bell cow back. He's going to lead. We get our fuel from Tony Pollard. No, that is not. We go get our fuel.
Yeah, the game doesn't start through Tony Pollard.
No, I'm sorry. When in years past, it was Zeke that gave us the fuel. No, that is not our offense anymore. That's dead and gone. Who gives us the fuel is Dak Prescott. When he can be his dynamic self, when he can shred these defenses, when he can use his legs, giving the defense another thing to worry about, that's what really ignites our offense. When we can get the ball to our explosive playmakers and CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, that's our offense. So
Jake Ferguson too.
Oh, don't let me forget Jake Ferguson.
Jake from State Farm.
When you have all these weapons on the perimeter, you need to use them, right? We need to use, and you can still do the short, long handoffs for the running backs out of the backfield. You can still do screens. All Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn, even though we don't play him, all of those guys are great at screens. So let's get
Rico
that.
Dowdle's very good at it.
Yeah, it's like, let's get that going. Turpin, we'd like to use him at we can be very creative in how we do this
in this game.
Yes. Yep, for CD, Brandon Cooks, Turpin, those end arounds and all that type of stuff. That's what we need to be doing. That's what we need to be doing. But that power run led team, that is not us anymore. And I'm glad they came to the realization because it looked like that's what they was trying to do, but it's just not us.
Yeah, that's what they've been trying to do because that's what them Joneses deep down inside like. And just when we heard Mike McCarthy a few weeks ago, we want to control time of possession. This team leans on the defense. Yeah, that's all good and all, but our defense is pretty good, right? We know our defense is pretty good, but guess what? You need to score points. You got an offense that can score points. The last 2 or 3 years, you've been damn near averaging 30 points a game. So why the hell are we going to start going to conservative Sally Sue when we was averaging 30 points a game last year with less weapons? We averaged 30 points a game with Noah Brown.
Right.
With you feel me? With I can't
Hobble
remember.
Michael Gallup
Hobble
and
Michael Gallup. We had receivers that we don't. Dennis somebody. I can't remember his
Dennis
daggone name.
Houston.
Dennis Houston.
Uh-huh.
You feel me? We was averaging 30 points a game with Dalton Schultz doing 5 in curls. You feel
Yep.
me? So, dog, that should tell you right there. We was already explosive with non-explosive players. Now we have explosive players. Use them and be explosive. And when you're explosive, when you're aggressive, and you let Dak just run this damn offense, we're a better team. I totally agree with you, Star. When you're talking about quick plays, Turpin, get them in motion, quick jet sweep. Boom. Tony, CD Lamb, quick jet sweep. Brandon Cooks. I mean, get creative in this game and keep this defense off balance. Keep this Eagles defense thinking. And then just like you said, once you can get that pass going, they're going to back up a little bit. They're going to get concerned in that pass game. And then, damn, guess what? Rico Dowdell shoot that mother sucker right up that middle and get an 8-9 yard gain. And then Tony Pollard starting to turn up a little bit. Now we get a 10-point lead on y'all. Y'all gonna start to think, because if we jump on them 7, if we get the ball first and take it right down the field, let's say we go down in like 5 plays, hit a big play with Brandon Cooks on a touchdown early. They're going to be panicking. I don't give a hell what they tell me. I don't give a hell what they tell me, Star. They're going to panic. They ain't going to show it, but they're going to be panicking like a Mustang inside. They're going to like, okay, how are we going to attack this? How are we going to attack this defense? Are we going to run? Because I feel like they ain't going to try to run. They're going to try to force things. They're going to start trying to force it to A.J. Brown. That's when we can get opportunistic, and that's when we can get the interceptions. Hey, we're giving you a great game plan. Cowboys, you should be listening to this show right now. We are giving you an excellent game plan on how to beat these damn Eagles. And if you follow this game plan, you go ahead and might just go ahead and win. If you start listening to us out here in these streets and say, stay aggressive, guess what? You won't look like that team. And guess what? I might believe a little more because I don't trust. And that's the problem right here in this whole big thing about this, Star, is which team is going to show up. I want to go there and stick out my chest and say we're going to beat the Eagles.
We don't know.
I don't know because I don't know what which Mike McCarthy is going to show up, which Dallas team is going to show up. If we see the Dallas Cowboys, we know we can go up there and beat them very handily because we've seen we have success against the Eagles. We're a perfect matchup against the Eagles. That's why we give them problems, because we're a perfect matchup against them. Play to the matchup, Cowboys. Play to the matchup, coaches. We can beat this team. This ain't no miraculous team. We own them. They don't own us. Now, maybe I can say this, the Niners, because they've been kicking our ass, you might be a little scary in your thoughts. But this ain't the team to be scared about because we own them. So there's no reason for you, Mike McCarthy, to go in here conservative.
Exactly. Like I said, we're not in the pressure.
And get that man involved in there too.
Exactly. Jalen Tolbert. And that's another thing that we saw. I'm like, that's why I said I want to continue to build, because we saw Michael Gallup snaps, and this last game was the lowest it's been since, I think they said 2019. Right? And Jalen Tolbert's getting worked into this offense. Kavontae Turpin getting worked more and more into this offense. That's what we need. We have explosive. What did CD say in his, not today's press conference, but the one that was right after the game? They asked him again. They said, CD, what's the identity of, do you know what the identity of the offense is now? He said, yes, we are explosive and we're physical. When you have all of these we haven't even seen Jalen Brooks, who I think if we had to I think Jalen Brooks would show out if we brought him off the bench. We have so many wide receivers that have, like Turpin and Tolbert, that have, when they've gotten the opportunities, they've met the moment. Turpin, the only guy who scored a touchdown versus San Fran. Like, these guys are ready.
Because look at his passer rating when targeted, 137.
137. He's ready. Tolbert is ready. It's like, let's explode on these guys. We have too many weapons to be. We didn't go and get Brandon Cooks and all these guys to be dink and dunk.
Right.
We're just gonna run the ball. We're gonna be this power run. That is not us. That is not us. We have.
And I didn't mean to cut you off, and I want to say this, Star. Now, Jalen Tolbert's passer rating is 90 when he's targeted. Everybody's passer rating is high except Michael Gallup. He has 64.3. But you know why I think he still gets all them targets? Wow. I think because him and Dak got to be best friends. Everywhere I see Dak go, Michael Gallup is with him. Okay. Yeah. They just went to that. They were just seeing that picture with him and Parsons with the Jack. Michael Gallup is always around Dak Prescott.
Right.
So if you ask me, that's his best buddy. And
I
when you
think Dak, yeah, I think Dak believes in my MG, and I think
and he's gonna always be like, I got you, Michael. I got you. I'm gonna try to get you going. I'm gonna try to get you. You
you
my
get
boy.
you going, but
But
I
but that
think
but that ain't gonna work, Dak.
right, and
Let it go.
also Dak's got to remember as well. Michael Gallup can show up if you don't put too much pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Gallup has to be the random guy you went to. That's when he used to get his big plays. Michael Gallup was never the focus. He was always wide receiver 3. You know what I'm saying? Wide receiver 3, 4. So this is a guy that you can go to, like we said, ran in random moments. But try to make him the target. I'm gonna just keep going to him over. Absolutely not. And I think what I said about coaching, you have to put your players in the best position to maximize their potential. Targeting Michael Gallup 10 times, that is above his potential. But when we targeted him 3 to 4 times, he caught every single one of them and he made big plays.
Right.
So
Right.
you have to know how to use and go to guys. You can't force feed a guy who he's not ready for. That's not who he is.
Well, that's
CD
not
is a
who he
guy
is no more. You feel
no
me?
more.
That's what he's not no more. Like Michael Gallup, whatever Michael Gallup was when they drafted him, he is not that anymore. He
No.
can't win the one-on-ones. If you watch the defenses that play against him, they play against him intentionally physical on the line. Look, just watch the teams, how they play against him. Look how they go against Cooks. Look how they go against CeeDee Lamb. They're not that physical with them at the line because they're a little bit more nervous of Cook's speed. And CeeDee Lamb, for him not being a big guy, he's kind of wiry. He's strong, though. CeeDee Lamb plays strong. When you watch Michael Gallup, they play press coverage against him because he can't get off that scrimmage anymore. He can't beat the one-on-one. He doesn't have that speed anymore that he used to have. He wasn't a burner, but he did have speed, functional speed, but he doesn't have that. And he's not the 50-50 guy anymore. He's the guy, he's the toe drag swag guy. They call him Sweet Feet Mike.
That's what I'm saying.
Sweet
That's what
Feet
you're
Mike.
talking.
He'll toe drag the hell out of everything. So get him on a quick outs and let him toe drag a 9-10 yard
Exactly.
and let him get that. But Jalen Tolbert has to get that damn ball because Jalen Tolbert offers you more. Check this out, Star. When you look at the team, right? We know CeeDee Lamb's going to get it. We know Brandon Cooks, right? But when you add a Jalen Tolbert who can play in the slot and Michael Gallup ain't no slot receiver, because remember last year they were talking about, hey, I'm getting more opportunities to play in the slot. He's not a slot guy. And he's been playing on the outside. And I think Skywalker still said it, and we said this on a show with my guy Connor Lifesay about he mentioned how CeeDee Lamb needs to play more of the X. You see, when he's playing more of the X receiver, our offense is even more dynamic. And when they had Michael Gallup, who that's what he's relegated to, you have a lot of empty possessions because you have an X receiver who can't do nothing for you.
They can't win on the island over there by himself.
So those are empty possessions that we're losing.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, if we had think of the San Fran game when there was like those deep ball shots that Dak was trying to take at the beginning. Michael Gallup, there was time Michael Gallup wasn't even getting his hands up. You're getting pushed out. You can't do that.
You're getting pushed out of bounds.
You get it, like you can't do that. You're not even trying to aggressively go up. But that's because we had him. You're the X wide receiver. We're supposed to be able to throw to you on an island and you win. But that's just not who Michael Gallup is anymore. Like we said, so you have to put him in the best position where he can be successful.
Yes.
And they saw that stuff y'all tried to pull versus the Chargers. He can't be successful. That's not him. He's not contested, circuits catch. I'm a catch this. Even though the ball was perfectly placed, Michael Gallup ain't gonna catch no ball with 3 defenders on him. That's just not him. That's not him. That's not him. You know what I'm saying? Like
he ain't doing that no more. And people, Dak, we get it, Dak. We know, but this ain't it, man. Get Tolbert. Keep on doing that. Keep getting Tolbert on the field because Tolbert offers more. He has more speed. He can play different variety of positions. And you seen target. He's 7 out of 10 in his catches. 90% ready when he's targeted. And when you seen Jalen Tolbert get the ball this year, he looks confident. He looks like he's going to do something after the confident. And I'm telling you, it's going to open up the offense even more. So lay all that other stuff to the side and try to win games because we let all that goofy, the corporate, the friendship, the pay for play. If that all gets in the way, we ain't going nowhere. So remove all that goofiness and Dallas can do something. Shout out to my dog, Dwayne Brown, for the $10 holler. He said, y'all bringing it today. Great show. I think we kind of are. I'm
Now,
not gonna run away from that, Dwayne. We are bringing it today. I ain't gonna lie. I feel it in my bones. We bringing it because I'm looking
yeah,
at Star like we kind of coming. We coming with it today, Star.
we done cooked up a whole game plan. Thank you so much too, Dwayne. I saw you
Yes,
donated to my Cash App, so I appreciate that.
that's what's
Another
up.
thing I want to say about Tolbert as well. If you go back and you watch the All 22, Tolbert is getting open.
Open.
I
He's
hope
getting
Dak is
open.
seeing this because this is a perfect game. Y'all
Man,
remember
dog.
how Cedric Wilson
Oh,
tore it
you
up
just
in the
called it,
Seahawks
Star. You
game?
just called it. This a perfect game for Jalen Tolbert to get sneaky in this game.
This is a
Sneaky
perfect.
touchdown.
Y'all
Yes.
remember 2020 versus we lost this game, but how I think Cedric Wilson had like 2 to 3 touchdowns. This is a
Talking
game.
about it. Talk about it.
This is a game where
Talk about
Jalen
it.
Tolbert that could really shock because they're gonna be so
They
focused
not
on
thinking
Stephen
about
Brandon Cooks.
him. They
You
not
got
thinking
Jalen
about him,
Tolbert
Star.
going right up the seam,
Oh,
touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Like this
oh,
is a
they not.
perfect game.
Oh, they not even thinking about him. They thinking about we can't Cooks
Uh,
can't get deep because he's had a couple touchdowns now. Well, you damn sure can't let CD. He gonna get his catches. Sneak Jalen Tolbert in there, like you said. Get a deep throw that they're not even looking at, much like you did with Turpin in that San Francisco game, and
mhm.
do it early. Don't
Yep.
wait to do it late when all we got to throw all day. No, do it early when they least expect it. Hit that man early. Now, if we do this game and that happens early, we're gonna pat us. We gonna go live after this Star, me and you, and we're gonna say, yeah, that's damn right. We said it.
Uh-huh.
We
Yep.
said it. And it's the
Yep.
truth, y'all. Get him early because they're not looking for him. Get him
They're
in
not looking.
early and hit him with a big one. Because if we get on these Eagles early, score early, like I said, especially we get the ball, we need to take that ball down the field aggressively and score early and put that pressure on them because they're not going to be ready for it. And then
Yep.
the last and final key, which is very major, I'm gonna put it like 1B below the number 3, but
Mhm.
turnovers. Take care of the ball. No
Yep.
dumb fumbles, running the ball, Tony Pollard getting hit from behind and fumbling, and they get it
Yep.
in the 20-yard line and take it in and score right quick. No, and we definitely cannot get turnovers early. Speak on it, Star.
Absolutely. The Eagles are they're not a team that's going to take away the ball, but they're opportunistic.
Mm-hmm.
And they will capitalize off of that. You don't think of how they did in the Miami game. Remember Tua, they was already in the red
Mm-hmm.
zone. Tua tried to throw a sideline corner post whatever to the end zone and it got picked out by Darius Slay and that's all they needed
Mm-hmm.
to deflate them. So you definitely don't want to give the Eagles any opportunities. Don't give them, just like you said, Tony Pollard, you done already fumble. You didn't fumble at all last year. You done already fumble about 2 to 3 times, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
please clean it up. Turpin,
Mm-hmm.
you've also fumbled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we need y'all to protect the ball. Dak, protect the ball. I
Be
said one
smart.
or
Be
less.
aggressive, but be smart, Dak.
Be smart. And that's why I said one or less, because I'll give, and you really don't want to give them, you can survive a turnover, but that's why I said one or less, because you can survive a turnover, but what you don't want to do is turn the ball over, which would give that Philly offense short field.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to give Jalen Hurts and them a short field because they will take advantage of that. They usually can score touchdowns in short fields. You don't want that from them. You don't want to give them nothing easy. You don't want to give them anything easy. So we really need to protect the ball. Like we still gonna be aggressive. You can be aggressive and also protect the ball. Now sometimes that's why I said one or less because sometimes shit happens. Obviously last
Mm-hmm.
week tip ball interception. Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff so you can't really help that. But I think ultimately we got to take our shots. But also what we've seen in this offense too these past couple of weeks our guys are like getting wide open. So that's another thing. Like, thank the football gods finally, because we know Dak for last year was leading the league in contested catches and all this stuff. Like, we don't want that. We want our receivers to be wide the hell open. And if they're wide open, you have a quarterback that's 100% gonna throw it right. He can't hand it to him better. So it's just like that's what we need. And hopefully we're able to do that and come out with the W.
Oh yes, and I'm gonna post this right here. Cowboys did that's a perfect thing because that was actually a guy that I liked in the draft, Christian Watson.
Yeah.
I actually got to see his Senior Bowl, and just remember what C. Watson did against us when we played Green Bay last year. Tolbert can be that guy. I totally agree with that
Yep.
because Watson was struggling a little bit early in the
Oh
year
yeah, he
before
was
we
struggling
played
big
them,
time.
and that was his coming out game. Right after that game, y'all, if y'all notice, his season went from here to here after
Mm-hmm.
that Cowboys game. He started
Mm-hmm.
catching everything. He became Aaron Rodgers, one of his favorite targets all year, and his numbers skyrocketed right after that game against the
Yep.
Cowboys. So his
Sure
confidence went
did.
up right after that. So I
Mm-hmm.
totally agree with you, Cowboys D. This could be a perfect game where you can get, because look, you get Jalen Tolbert off in this game, now you're cooking. Because now
Now
you're
we're
like,
cooking.
oh boy, now you're cooking. Because now,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? Michael Gallup, you're better now. Because now
Yep.
nobody even talking about you no more. So now
Mm-hmm.
you can be sneaky and get some of them big catches that ain't
Yep.
nobody talking about, like you just said, Star.
Mm-hmm.
Because you ain't, see, when they try to make you the guy, you not the guy.
Not the guy.
When Amari went down in 2019 and they said, "Oh, we got that young rookie Michael Gallup," you failed. That told me right there you were number 2, number 3, and we can't do nothing with that. And that's just what you are.
Hard.
So
Period.
you aren't a guy that we can just say we got to get Michael Gallup, Michael Gallup. No,
No.
we got to get
No.
the other guys, and then you come in after that, and then you're the better player. And that's what I
Yep.
think about Michael Gallup. We got to get Ferguson involved early because Fergie, he's our number one. Schoolmaker, I like your effort, but Fergie is our guy.
No.
He's
Yep.
more explosive than Dalton Schultz, although Dalton Schultz ain't having a
Absolutely.
bad year over there at Houston, but he's more explosive than Dalton Schultz. Get Fergie the
Absolutely.
ball. Get Fergie the
Get
ball.
get Ferguson the ball. Absolutely. I said the progression I'm fine with CD. If you want to go Ferguson, cook Ferguson. I don't care.
Those
Last game they
those three
got,
are your guys.
but those three are your guys. And Ferguson is like we said, he's more dynamic than Dalton Schultz.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy that breaks. He's a playmaking
He's a
tight end.
leader too.
He's a leader and a playmaking tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all saw how we kept. Remember the seam touchdown that we finally connected on? Because the first two, one time it was to Hendershot drop. Second
Mm-hmm.
time it was to a Schoonmaker drop. We get it to Ferguson, touchdown. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's a guy we can trust. He's a guy that Dak can trust. When in doubt, get the ball to Jake Ferguson because he's usually always open.
Yeah.
So get
Yeah.
the ball to him.
Get the ball to Ferguson because I'm gonna pull him up right now. Ferguson has stepped his game up, man. Like he really
Way
has.
up.
And here's the thing: Ferguson also this whole year. He was with Dak. He was like Dak right on Dak's hip
Yep.
all off season. He was
Yep.
going to his house, the
Yep.
the quarterback school, and look at the numbers right here. Got to get those drops better. Got 3 drops already, but your target rating, passer rating is 118.
118. Yeah.
Yards after the catch is what I like seeing.
Yep.
5.2. That's big. You get what I'm
That's
saying?
huge.
That's
That's
huge. Tight end.
huge.
Because some of our receivers aren't even doing that right now.
5.2. Wow.
Some of
That's
our receivers aren't even doing that. So that tells
Mhm.
you he's athletic. When he gets the ball, he's getting out after the catch. So
Yeah.
Ferguson's got to continue to get the ball. He's growing into he's growing into a top tight end. I personally
Yep.
love Ferguson when he came out of school. I said he was in 3 of my mock draft, Star. I said
Mhm.
he's what the Cowboys would want. Once I seen him in the game, in the Senior Bowl practice, I said Cowboys get him. So I
Yep.
already felt that this could be the guy, and he's really just growing each week. He's growing each
He
week.
really is. He is.
Really, you can see it, right, Star? He is growing
Mhm.
each week, and I'm getting excited
Each
for his
week.
game because
Yep.
once his game continues to expand, we're going to be so much of a better team. So we have the weapons, Mike McCarthy. We
We
have the
do.
weapons, Mike McCarthy. Use them.
Use
Be
them.
aggressive and use them. Don't go up
Mhm.
to Philly being scared because, like what we just said, we own them. We have the better record. We're 8-3. We don't have anything to be worried about and not less confident. We could be even more confident. We beat Philly in Philly, so that ain't no absurd thing that can't happen. So go in there aggressive. We go in there aggressive. We win. We go in there scary. We go in there tight. We're gonna get blown out, and that's
Yep.
just my thoughts on it. You feel me?
I agree 100%. I
Yeah.
agree.
So, hey, as we kind of close here, what's your final thoughts on the game, and do you have a final score?
Yeah, I think we're going to continue to build off of what we saw. I think every game we see Dak is just playing better and better. Dak is really getting into, if you look at the trajectory, The first half of the season, I think he threw 5 touchdowns total. These past 2 games, he's thrown 5 touchdowns, guys. I think he's really like Dak is really getting into a rhythm.
Getting in the zone.
He's getting in that zone. So I'm like, if we could just continue to build off of that, I think we do come in here. I think from what Mike McCarthy, Mike said, and everybody, like, the cuffs are off. It's time to stop pussyfooting around. We need to put up points. We need to put up points. So we need to come out firing. I do think we come out firing. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and say, like I said last week, I think it should be a blowout. I really do think it should be a blowout because if we can focus up and stop that run from Philly, it's nothing but a field day for us to just sit there and rush Jalen Hurts all game. I mean, that's exactly what we want. So I think absolutely. I think the final score prediction, I'm gonna say Philly 17. Actually, no, I'll give Philly 21, Dallas 34.
Ooh.
But I'll give Philly 21 points.
Okay. Well, I'm not as confident as you, and it's not because I feel like Philly's a better team. I just don't trust
Mhm.
I just don't
You just
trust
don't
it.
trust us. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just don't. I
I
can't.
got trust issues.
McCarthy, I got trust issues. I've
You got
been
to
had
prove
trust
it.
issues with Cowboys for so long. I went out
Mhm.
there and grabbed that big ass pitcher of Kool-Aid, getting drunk on that Kool-Aid, trusting this, trusting that, and then you do goofy things, Mike. Now you're saying it in the media, Mike. You're saying it in the media, and it sounds all good. Sounds great in the media, but I don't
Mhm.
trust it. So I'm
Mhm.
sorry. You're not getting nobody's getting no score from me this week or nothing. I went out earlier this season. Now I did predict because I said we would be only one loss by this game.
Mhm.
And I did say we were going to go to Philly and lose, and I said we would beat them in Dallas. Now I'm hedging because of what I saw against the Rams, and I already know this team can beat them. I already know what we can do to them. That
Mhm.
Rams game, I already know if we go in there and do it. But I'm sorry, I don't know.
You
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I
And
don't
that's
know.
fair. That's
I can't.
fair.
I'm sorry. I just can't. I don't trust you yet, McCarthy. This this game. You do this game like you did last game. The
We
trust,
win,
the
but
trust
we don't.
we will win, but then the trust will come back a little more. But
A
I'm
little
sorry,
bit.
y'all done cheated on me too much. Y'all done lied to me too much, and now I just can't believe you. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I can't believe you. I love you so much, but dear,
Can't trust you.
I can't trust you, dear.
Can't
You
trust
cheated
you.
on me too many times. You done lied to me too much, and I want to give you a hug, but I still don't trust you. I'm
Don't
sorry.
trust you. And honestly, I mean, big. I agree with you there. I'm still now. I'm making this
I
bold
know. I
prediction.
hear it in your voice.
I'm making this bold
I hear it
prediction.
in your voice.
Bold prediction.
I hear it in your
But
voice.
they got to go out and prove it.
Yeah, they got to.
I can defend my team all day long. I can defend. I can defend. I can defend. But at the end of the day, y'all have to go out and play, and you have to go out there and prove it. Just like DeMarcus Lawrence said, listen, if we want to beat our chest, if we want to say we the best, we got to go out there and win that game. And that's just point blank, period. So hopefully everybody knows that, and we go out here and win the game. Because honestly, we can drop this game, but I don't want to drop this game. Like, we done already had 2
Two
bad losses,
right.
bro.
This
Like, why
can't
we gotta
happen.
drop another game? Like, do we
Exactly.
really
Three
need another
NFC
game?
games. That you know how
That's
far
not
that's gonna
good. That's
it's
what
not
I'm
gonna end our season, but it's gonna put us in a serious
it
bind where
puts
we're
us
putting
way
pressure on
back.
us, puts pressure on us where we gotta win. Because even right now, with San Francisco having 3 losses, they're still ahead of us in a tiebreaker. If we play them
Yeah,
right now, they're still ahead of us in a
it was in
tiebreaker.
a tiebreaker.
So
That's
because they
crazy.
beat us in those tiebreakers in that Arizona, I told everybody, I keep telling everybody that Arizona game is going to come back to bite us. It just is. I don't know. It just, in my opinion, I just feel like the Arizona game and seeding and things of that nature is going to come back. And we're going to look back at that Arizona loss like, man, I can't believe we lost to them
Right.
dudes, and because it happened. So I just feel like that loss right there is going to come back. But I'm sorry, y'all. Everybody in the chat, I'm sorry. I'm not giving no score prediction because I don't
No
trust
score
Dallas.
prediction. We'll see what they can do.
I definitely know we can beat this team, but I can't trust y'all. And I'm
Can't
sorry,
trust it.
y'all. I'm like public enemy right now. Can't
Yeah.
trust it. No. I can't do that right now. And y'all just got, I'll be sitting there watching. We'll be live with Castro, and I'm gonna be sitting there probably running my mouth, but in my heart, I'm be like, y'all better do this.
Y'all better do this because that's all we can do, bro. Like,
and we don't want to hear we don't want to hear the noise, Cowboys.
No, I don't want to hear the excuses
We don't want
either.
we don't want to because we don't want to hear them excuses because they can't really say it like they want to in Dallas. You stay in line there in Dallas, and that's another problem in Dallas that I ain't gonna talk about. But you stay in line, don't you say nothing. If something bad like we were to get blown out, something like that, I would hope somebody would break the code and be like, "Man, this is some BS. Do some stuff like Jonathan Allen did. Like, you damn right. I'm effing tired of this. I'm effing tired.
I would hope so too. I would hope so too because
I need one of them guys do that. Break the mode. Take a fine. To have them have daddy take you up to the office and the principal scold you, whatever you got to do. But if something like that happen, I need somebody to do some cussing and get mad. So what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, and before we get off here, that's a great question, but from Craven. I think so because. Do you think we see more Evans before y'all close? I definitely think we do, Star, and I'll give my quick thoughts and I'm gonna get yours. And this is the reason why. Because what you talked about, Craven, they're going to try to run that ball with DeAndre Swift. And if they're going to do that, DeAndre Swift, he runs with power. And the offensive line still is powerful. And what is Rashaan Evans good at? Run game. He ain't good in the pass game at all. He had over like 130 tackles last year, I believe, with the Falcons. He's good in the run game. He's physical. He's downhill. So I think we do see him in more spots, especially in the run fits. Is that where we see him to be able to get him his feet a little bit more acclimated? And that's where I think we see him.
Yeah, I think we see him too, because even though he only had limited snaps last game, I thought, because I was like, did he only get in like once basically the second team came in? No, Dan Quinn let him get some burn. It was limited, but he got burned with the first team. So I definitely I really am hoping that he's playing this week. I think last week you're just trying to get him acclimated, but this week he should be on the field. We don't have the time to mess around. We don't
we ain't got time to mess around. Get acclimated. He's been there 2 weeks. Get it on the field.
Get him on the field, Dan Quinn. Like, I'm not gonna put up with the excuses from Dan Quinn. Yeah. Like, get him on the field.
You got him for a reason. Don't let him sit.
Exactly. Get our guys on the field. Please play all of our talent. We have talent.
Play
out the ass. We need to play our talent and utilize them so that we can win.
Yeah, totally 100% agree. Shout out to Cowboys D. Says Star and Big, you both have a serious pulse on the team. Great show. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to everybody. Oh, thank you for all the compliments today. I definitely feel like we were in our bag today. I really do. Not braggadocious or anything, but I definitely feel like we were in our bag. We really broke it down, and we be freestyling this. We don't be talking ahead of time.
That's
we come straight off the top of the dome and come right here. But like I said, we really go hard with this team. We really got love for this team. And guess what? That's why we are passionate like this. It ain't the we scared of anything. It's we got this passion and we know what our team can do. And I think a lot of fans are at this point where the reason why we're so mad on Twitter and the reason why we're so disgruntled because we know what the capabilities of our team are and we're tired of seeing our team fail because we know our team is a damn good team and we're tired of seeing these same things befall them that shouldn't do it when you have lesser teams that are getting there and they should not be there for us. So that's why you see the frustration on Twitter, Facebook, and when people are like, man, I don't give a hell. That's why, y'all. So Cowboys, continue to hear our cries because our fans, we passionate about this. We feel like we're used to this. We're used to winning. We're used to championships. So bring that thing back, man. Front office, step your ass out the way. Let these guys cook and watch how easy this thing is.
Watch it because like I said, we're the only team in the NFL right now that is sitting our starters at top 4. We have an overkill of talent. We just need to put it together. And like you said, we tired. We don't want to keep. We had all of this out. We had everything. We had the coaches. We still lost. Like we don't want to keep dealing with that. We don't want to keep dealing with that. It's like these other teams are getting it done. We need to get it done. Like, no more excuses. Get it done so that we can win, so that we can walk with our chest out. But we can't walk with our chest all the way out because we
can't trust it. We can't trust it.
We can't trust it because it's 1 week this thing, 1 week this thing. We got Kellen Moore PTSD as well. So I am a little bit nervous, Mike. Are you going to keep building? That's why I said, hope we keep building, because we are used to, wow, that was a great game plan. Next week, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand that. Like, but our team does that to us. So hopefully we don't. Hopefully we can just continue to build. That's what I hope.
Yeah, I mean, from frustrated Cowboys fans right here, we love our squad. For this, what Star just said, I feel like she just spoke for every damn Cowboys passionate fan out there. That's just what we feel like. Just do it, like Nike, man. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Just do it. It's easier than you think it is. Y'all make it more complicated. So
Yeah.
that's just what we're saying. So
Mhm.
appreciate you, Star. This was an awesome show today.
Great show,
Awesome,
big.
awesome, great. I'm excited. You got my blood boiling. After I get off the show, I'm gonna go read Pro Football Focus and read up on coverages, and I'm gonna look at players now. You got me hyped today. You did a hell of a job today. This just felt good today. So maybe that's good juju or
Good
good
juju,
good
hopefully.
as we get ready to go to Philly, right? Yeah, you feel me? So, hey, give yourself your selfish plug. Matter of fact, before you do, let me give the plug for you. Please go follow Star. You just seen those keys to victory, right? And I didn't even bring up the other keys the week before. She was on point with those too. Star be on it. Star be on it, man. Y'all need to subscribe to her. Y'all need to subscribe to her channel. This lady knows football. She goes hard in the paint. So please, her YouTube, her Twitter, Facebook, whatever. If you got Instagram, Star, let them know and hit that like button on her channel. Please get her up even higher because she got something to say.
Thank you. Appreciate that, big. Yeah, guys, y'all can follow me on YouTube, Stargazer Sports. Follow me on Instagram at Stargazer_sports. Follow me on Twitter at the Stargazer, but in Gazer it's a 3 instead of an E and 2 R's at the end. Follow me on Facebook at Stargazer Sports Media, and you can follow me on TikTok as well at Stargazer.sports. So thank you guys again for rocking with us tonight. This was a fire show. It's our best show yet, I
Yeah, this
think.
is our best show. This is our
Best show yet.
Sure,
So
best show.
hopefully, we
That
come
brings
back.
good. Yeah, that brings that good. You feel me? If we having this good of a show, and let's let that lead to a victory, so we can just be feeling good. So when we talking next
Exactly.
week, we like, hey man, they followed our game plan, and look what happened.
One, exactly. That's what we're hoping for. But y'all be safe out there, man. Hopefully, we see you guys next week.
All right, and make sure you tune in to Star's channel as well as mine. We're going to be popping it off all week. Obviously, like I said, I don't do the watch parties anymore, but I'll be doing the watch party with Joe Castro. Best of Enemies podcast will be going down Saturday with me and Joe. You know that Eagles. I need all my Cowboys people in there when we talk our trash back and forth Saturday. And then Sunday, if you ain't doing anything, jump into that watch party because that's going to be fun. We're doing live play-by-play. Me, Joe Castro, like we did last year. We was getting heated. We didn't talk to each other for a couple days. Our girlfriends were both like, "Are y'all okay? Are y'all still friends?" Literally, it happened. Star like his girlfriend was like, "Are y'all still cool? Like, are y'all still friends?" And my girl was like, "Are y'all still good, right? Y'all still talking?" That's how heated it got. So 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 make sure you tune into that because it's gonna be a lot of trash talking that game, a lot of fun. But once again, awesome show, great support. Thank y'all for being here, and make sure y'all hit that like button on both sides. And we'll see you next week. Big Star Show. We out.